do the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, may we have the roll call?
Mayor Cindy Simpson?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Brett McWhorter?
Here.
Trustee Daniel Henning?
Here.
Trustee Andres Esparza?
Here.
Trustee David Payton? Trustee Nick Manning?
Here.
All right, thank you very much.
Trustee Corey Jabor?
Thank you very much. Next item is the approval of the agenda. I would look for a motion and a second.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Oh, thank you. I got to remember to wait. All right. Next item is presentation to the board by Marshal Justin Goodall.
So this is for the board, and it's a thanks to from the Stone Ranch Productions for their film bonding. It was filmed at the marshal's office, so that'll be on display at the marshal's office and the receptionist. So they offered for a site fee. I waived it for their filming, so that way, I mean, it's an independent film company, and asked them for a letter to you guys to thank for that. I mean, the site fee wasn't much, so I think that has more meaning to the citizens and the board than, you know, a few $100. So that's all. Just wanted to show you guys that's for you guys for the use of the marshal's office. So it'll be displayed there.
Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Okay, next up is audience business, and I'll just read a few things about that. Senate Bill 24-131 prohibits firearms in public buildings with the exception of law enforcement. All people wishing to address the board shall do so from the podium provided in the boardroom, and all comments will be directed to the board, not the audience. Public comments regarding items not on the agenda shall be limited to 5 minutes per person unless part of a formal presentation. Public comments regarding public hearing items on the agenda will be limited to 3 minutes per person at the time the item comes up on the agenda. Special presentations of items not on the agenda shall be limited to 5 minutes, and the board will appoint a timekeeper. All people from the podium shall clearly and audibly state their name, physical address, and the town business topic they wish to speak about prior to speaking. No person shall be allowed to speak until recognized by the mayor. Requests to the board to accept written information shall be accepted at that time, though no action will be taken at the meeting. We can't take action on things that aren't on our agenda. Written information accepted at the meeting shall be provided in the board packet for the next meeting if necessary. All right. Having said all of that, we have 3 people signed up. Rebecca Walker. Is this for an item not on the agenda? On the agenda. Okay, so we'll... Oh, yeah. And then Mark Orth is next.
My name is Mark Orth. I live at 10750 Road 43 on the property where you guys are drawing your water from the Mancos River and have situated 2 settling ponds as well as a ½ mile of your pipeline feeding raw water to the city. The reason I'm here is that your attorney has assumed that I was incorrect or I was lying about the easements on our property. He has stated multiple times that water going through this pipeline here satisfies the easement obligation to provide a second tap, one of the two taps that are called for in the easement. He has also disagreed with me about the excess water which had been flowing onto the property between 1960 and 9 years ago. The idea that that was a leak and that you needed to do hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of changes in your ponds to fix that leak is not accurate. The way the system was set up, you had the settling ponds, it went through a measuring partial. 1.4 CFS went through that partial. The water that was not consumed by the town, that was not pulled into your additional ponds up by the water tower and treatment plant, poured out of that culvert for 40 years or 60 years. I understand that it is very important to support your staff, and that's totally reasonable. But I strongly believe that this is your decision. There was an easement written. You are not fulfilling the obligation of that easement. The second tap is not coming out of your pipeline at any location. If a second tap were to come out on my property, it would not harm the town because you have a sufficient amount of water. You are not using 1.4 CFS, and it would be a reasonable thing to assume that when you use an acre of someone's land and you additionally use half an acre to put a pipeline in, and you drive over the last 10 years over 2,000 times up a driveway, that some compensation would be reasonable and fair. In 1960, when the trustees made this agreement, it was their intent that there be compensation for the use of this land. That is very clear in the easement. I would ask that you schedule an executive session to discuss this and direct your staff at that executive session to offer me a tap. The idea of paying for your impact on my driveway seems to be out of the question. Due to various water right issues, it appears that you do not have any excess water because nobody filed for a wastewater permit in 1960 when the town set up this arrangement. If you guys could give me a tap, I'd be a pretty happy guy. I apologize for coming in front of you over and over again. The reason I'm here again is because the assumption was that I was incorrect and that a tap into this abandoned pipeline counted as your second tap under the obligation. If there are any questions, I would be happy to answer them. If you would allow me to participate in part of the executive session so that I can answer questions, I'd be happy to do that at that time. If you would like to have a work session with me, I would be happy to clarify any issues that are not clear to you. But this tap pipe does not have water in it and does not satisfy the easement. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I apologize again for wasting your time.
Next person on the list is Eric Pfeiffer. Is this for something not on the agenda?
It's on.
It's on the agenda? Okay,
Then
then,
when we get to the.
yeah, when we get to it, is it,
Actually, I do have another subject I'd like to
okay.
reach.
all right,
I live on 521 Bauer. My name is Eric Pfeiffer. And I'm 2 houses up from Willow. And I'm sure you're all aware, Willow's not paved, but it's under heavy traffic constantly. We have trucks, we have tractor trailer trucks, 48-foot trailers going down that road. And there's a constant cloud of dust that wafts over my house, and I'm assuming most of my neighbors as well. So I did a informal count in the afternoon between the hours of 3 and 4:30. And I came up with about a car or a vehicle about once every minute. So what I would like to do is see what can be done to get Willow Street paved. Not to mention there's flooding issues with rivers of water that run down during a heavy storm. That could all be mitigated at the same time. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
thank you very much. Is there anybody else that wanted to speak on something not on the agenda? All right. Moving on, we will have the Montezuma County Commission update. Gerald.
Gerald Copenhaver here. Not much to report as far as the last couple weeks anyway, because we didn't have a meeting last week because of the election. Didn't have one yesterday because of November 11th. So we still have not hired a road superintendent. We're still waiting until we get more applications and a more person that we feel is more qualified for that position. Last month, we did have our Southwest Water Conservation meeting here in Mancos on the 8th and 9th. We met down at the library on the 9th for that part of the meeting, but on the 8th we had a tour of this different water projects and different things going on around this whole area from different structures that's been put here on the Mancos River to over to Narragansett, the dam replacement, the repair that's happening over there. Looked at some stuff up at Summit. So got a lot of people more familiar with this whole area that serves these other counties in the Southwest. Last week we also had a meeting of all the commissioners in this basically 5-county area down here in this over in Durango to meet with them and talk about their different issues that they're having coming forward. A lot of them are saying that we're facing, except La Plata County did get their 1% sales tax passed. They were facing a significant reduction in otherwise, so they were glad to get that thing passed. So see how that works out for them, but it should replace some of what they're losing. We also got word from Kinder Morgan that they're going to cut back production at least 10%, and it's not because of the resource out there. It's actually because of the demand down in Texas. The demand is just not there for as much as they've been producing. So they're cutting back 10% at least, and that's a pretty significant change since they pay about 50% of the taxes in this county. That one taxpayer. Most people don't realize that, but they are huge as far as paying the taxes in here. Our assessor said it would take 146 Osprey packs to replace them. Just the significance of what they do here in this county. So it's a major deal, and it's probably going to keep cutting back. So it's going to affect the funds in Montezuma County for into the future significantly. They also are going to shut down their plant out in Dolores County, the helium plant. Shutting down that project. probably cost them $50 million, and it's only operated for, I forget when it came online, not much more than 5 years ago. And it's going down, so it's gonna affect them significantly. Not only with the amount of people that are employed out there, but the tax revenues going into Dolores County is gonna be reduced quite significantly too, so. Other than that, we're up and running as far as all our other things, working on the budget, same as everybody else, trying to get everything straightened out as much as we can. We're gonna have to pull some more out of reserves to make it work again, but we do have some reserves. We have set aside a whole total year's worth of funds to just as a set aside. So going on.
About the solar moratorium, Bill? Someone asked me about that the other day.
What's that?
The solar moratorium, what's the status of that?
That has come off. That moratorium's come off. We're gonna have a public, that's the other thing I was gonna mention. We're gonna have a public hearing to decide to make some changes to the land use code in order to accommodate those type of facilities. I can't say how that's gonna come out because it just depends on how everybody votes when it comes out of the public hearing, but we're gonna put some language in the land use code in order to accommodate those type of facilities the way it's written right now. That's what's gonna happen with it. The way it is right now, in order for them to be out here, just any place, they'd have to change the zoning in order to do it in our land use code. So the only way we can actually do it is to make a special use permit for that one specific industry, which bothers me a little bit because you're not treating everybody the same, to me. I mean, if you have an industry out there, that's fine, but if you're gonna do that for one, we should be able to do it for everybody. Any other type of industry that wants to go out there. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. But that's coming up here. I think this next week is when that public hearing is, if I remember right. We did have a misprint in the paper because it said it was at 9 p.m. or something instead of 9 a.m. So they had to go back and reprint some stuff, but it happens.
Yeah.
Human error is just part of the whole business, no matter what. So, anyway, that's all I can think of right now.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, next up is announcements.
I have a couple. Sorry, excuse me. So the Make a Summer Hub Committee has requested a workshop with the Board of Trustees in the second workshop in January. So I've been asked to see if you want to meet with the Make a Summer Hub. We do have joint workshops with the Creative District, the commissioners, and the Chamber of Economic Development. I think, excuse me, so that the exact words were the Make a Summer Hub Committee. So it would be a joint workshop, the second workshop in January. And you don't have to answer right now, but I do want you to be thinking about that maybe for, because we do have items for the future agenda on here, so you guys can be thinking about that, please. There will be no second meeting in November. Our next meeting will be December 10th, 2025. We will adopt the 2026 budget and no levy at that time during a public hearing. So we will move forward. I will be out of the office from December 4th through December 15th. I am happy to call in for the December 10th meeting. If you feel you need to be there, just let me know. And you can let me know as we get closer to that. Trustees are not allowed to participate in public hearings if they are not in the room, because you all are receiving information and you all are making the decisions. I am making no decisions, so if you need me at that meeting, please just let me know. I'm happy to call in. I do not anticipate a 2025 budget amendment. The staff has done an amazing job of controlling is all I have.
Okay. Andres, do you have any announcements?
I do not have anything for you now.
Okay. Nick?
Nope.
Daniel? All right. I don't either. All right. So next item on the agenda is the consent agenda items. These items are presented as a slate and will either be pulled off or all approved at the same time. And they are the minutes of October 8th, 2025, October bills and claims, Southwest Opioid Response District meeting minutes, Region 9 meeting minutes, and Colorado Department of Transportation, Transportation Planning Region, and State Transportation Advisory Committee update. So I would entertain a motion and a second.
Make a motion to approve the consent agendas. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it passes. Thank you. Let's see. Next up is discussion and action items. So we have a public hearing, ordinance 789 series 2025, RV parks within town limits. And Heather.
Before you go to the meeting, Andres cannot participate.
Right. Andres, did you hear that?
He cannot vote.
I heard part of that. Can you repeat
Okay.
it over?
You cannot participate. You cannot participate in a public hearing from a remote location, and you cannot vote. So if you want to just stay on the phone and stay muted, that'll be fine. That way you can at least listen to the input.
That sounds good. I'll stay on mute.
Okay. Right. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So we have a public hearing, ordinance 789, series 2025, RV parks within town limits. Heather, do you want to propose? Or, and I will open the public hearing at 6:23.
So this has been discussed for a couple of months now. Ultimately, the board was approached by a business owner, and Mr. McDonald is here. And so the board said, yes, please refer it to the planning commission for discussion. They discussed it. The draft ordinance was presented at their last meeting, and that information is in your packet along with their comments and suggestions. I would ask that you remember that when you are discussing this, you are discussing this for all current and any future RV parks in town limits. Please don't get hung up on one specific business, because this will apply to all RV parks now and in the future. So, other than that, I don't have anything to add to this unless you all have questions for me at this point.
Okay. And we have the planning commission kind of bullet points in our packet. Yeah. Okay, so if anyone is here from the public to speak on this issue, you've got 3 minutes. All right. So I guess we close the public hearing?
If nobody, so what I will say is if nobody from the audience wishes to speak right now, we will close the public hearing, and then it becomes the board's time to discuss and decide. So if you want to speak on this issue, now is your time. Because once the public hearing is closed, it reverts back to the board.
All right. I will close the public hearing at 6:25. All right. Discuss amongst ourselves. What are your thoughts? Nick, pick on you first.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to hear someone else.
Daniel?
I think they outlined it for us pretty well. It's kind of all the stuff we were talking about before. I don't know. The 90-day thing, I don't know if that matters. I think 180 days is fine in my mind. I see, potentially having to add some sort of cooling off period. Maybe if we're gonna limit it to 12 months, if we're saying 180 days, then you gotta move, and then you could do another 180 days. If there's a limit to 12 months, then you can't just go away for 5 days and come back. There's gonna be some meaningful cooling off period, I would think, to kind of try to thread the needle of what we're trying to accomplish here. But I think for the most part, what they suggested was good to me.
Right.
I agree. I was at the planning and zoning. They seem to get hung up on the length of stay time. And I think the 180 days is I think sufficient for me for the length of stay. I do think that they would be allowed to move one time. And then I do like your idea of a cooling off period after that 1 year.
So are we thinking calendar year, rolling 12 months?
I think 12 months is rolling with that. I mean, I don't think calendar year really.
Yeah.
Because you get people coming in
Yeah.
December.
The day they arrive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so I'm really clear, what is the length of stay by limiting people and then the role? Like, what purpose does that serve?
To prevent it from becoming a year-round, like residence for permanent residents.
Yeah. Because that's typically what happens when you go to
Right.
year-round. Just people live there, and
Yeah.
it becomes a de facto subdivision. And,
Makes sense.
doesn't meet our subdivision criteria. So.
Okay.
They get pretty much a year stay.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't know what the time period would be, 30 days or something.
Yeah, 30 to 60.
Yeah.
If we want it to be a little firmer, 60.
Sure.
But yeah, I think 30 would be the baseline in my mind.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I don't see any reason. I'm less concerned about the length of stay. I think to me, it's I'm in support of it being open year round. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't be.
Madam Mayor, Board, the 90 days is when residency is established. So that then becomes their residence. So if you do 180 days, they can apply for residency. And that from previous boards, and if I understand this board correctly, you don't want it to be a continuous residency where they're living out of their RVs at that location. So the 90 days is when, by statute, you're gainfully employed or you have established that residency for 90 days. You can apply for your Colorado driver's license as your address at that place.
Well, quick question.
Yeah.
What would prevent somebody from being there for 90 days now and then establishing residency?
Nothing. It's just
So then that's a moot point to me, I think.
yeah, it would be up to the business to ensure that those.
I mean, right now, the way things are, they could come here in the spring and they could be there the 90 days and still establish residency.
Does it matter if they establish?
That's
Well,
what
I think
that's
we
what I'm
have
saying.
stuff in the code, if I remember correctly, that prevents them from doing certain things, like they can't enroll their kids in school, or maybe how they can help us out maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
There was some call out in there.
But I think that's why they got hung up on the 90 days. Is just for the residency, which
Yeah. Because the whole point is to not have
it'd be really hard,
residents.
and it would be really hard to code enforce.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So
That's why I think it's kind of a moot point for us to, if we can't enforce it, why would we put it in our code?
So, but that's the only input I have on the length of stay.
Thank you.
And then as far as like the cooling off period, we're sort of asking the business owner to track that as well, because that's not something we're gonna.
Yeah, there's records that could be audited upon request.
Oh, it's right here in the number 7, prohibited activities. Registration for voter purposes at the address, enrollment of school-age children using the address, installation of permanent appurtenances, porches, skirting, carports, receiving regular mail at the address, or establishment of utility accounts in the name of the occupant.
Yeah, so I think a lot of that stuff already kind of covered.
And then the enforcement is that they're to keep records for 2 years upon request.
That way it would show the
Yeah.
cooling off period.
Yes.
Page 29 of your packet, section 1A, 2B1A, preserves intended recreational and transient use of recreational vehicles, parks, and to prevent the establishment of long-term or permanent residences in these sections.
Yeah. So it's explicit there. Great.
Our town attorney is not here, but he did review this. And,
Okay.
But this is the first time we've discussed the cooling off period at the, the 1 year mark.
yes, the planning commission stated, they wanted either 90 or 180 days in any 12-month period, so it would be a rolling 12 months. They did not address the cooling off period during their meeting.
Yeah. And that's where I think we come in and we figure it out, because if they didn't address it, then we have to figure it out.
Yeah, because the way they were interpreting or proposing would be year on, year off, year on, year off.
They were doing 6 months on and 6 months off or whatever.
Yes, their discussion was, there were two topics of discussion. There was discussion about allowing them to be 90 or 180 days in a space and then moving to a different space. And there was discussion of 90 or 180 days, period, in a 12-month period. So they're...
At a single park. We only have one park now.
Yeah.
Let's imagine there's another one.
And this is business specific, so the 90 or 180 days. So what they did not discuss a cooling off period, because if you choose option 2, if you decide for option 2, 90 or 180 days in a rolling 12-month period, that removes the ability for them to just move to a different space in the park. They're saying So if you go with option 2, you don't need a cooling off period. If you want to allow them to move within the park, that's when your cooling off period would come in if you so choose.
Yeah, I think the cooling off period is it'd be a little easier for people to navigate than, if they're there for 180 days and then they leave and they want to come back early. Now we're looking at their rolling 12 months and we're adding.
I mean, I think
burden on the business.
I honestly think the 180 days is fine, and then they can move to one more spot in the park for another 180 days.
Yeah, and then 12 months limited to the park, not a space. So like if we did have another RV park, they could go over there. But
I'd be fine with that.
So what cooling off period would you recommend?
I think
30 days?
30 days.
Yeah, 30 days is fine.
I think anything more than that is just gets too muddy.
Yeah.
It's also punitive. I don't think it's...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty standard, like a visa, going to a country, you have to leave, come back. 30 days is plenty.
Yeah. All right. Any other comments? Concerns? Questions? Okay. Then I would entertain a motion and a second.
Okay, I make a motion to approve ordinance 789 series 2025, an ordinance making certain text amendments to the Town of Mancos Land Use Code concerning recreational vehicle parks with the changes of 180 days in a single space, and then the ability to change spaces one time for another 180 days, and then a cooling off period of 30 days before they can stay in the park again.
30 days cooling off, and then open year round.
And then open year round, yes. That's part of the text changes in the thing.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the vote?
Who did the second? I'm so sorry.
Daniel. Trustee Hennick.
Mayor Pro Tem Brendan Porter.
Hi.
Trustee Daniel Hennett.
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning.
All right, motion passes.
So, I will add that text. You will not be able to sign tonight.
Right.
We will publish it next week with those changes. And it will become effective 30 days from next week. But, the ordinance will become effective 30 days from this day. It'll be published in the journal.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
And it will be published on our website. Once she signs it, we'll put it on our website so you'll have the actual issue. I'm sorry, because if I start then I do it for every person who asks. Sorry. But we will post it, once it's signed and published, then we post it no later than this Wednesday.
Excellent, thank you.
Yep. All right. Moving on. Next item is our Resolution 12, Series 2025, Rural Jumpstart Renewal.
So, this has been in effect for 5 years. It is expiring 12/31 of 2025. Excuse me. You are not required to pass this resolution. The Rural Jumpstart Program is an economic development tool because the town of Vegas and Montezuma County are economically distressed. So, and it's not just, oh, they want to come here and they get these credits and they get these sales tax rebates and that type of thing. There are rules that they must follow. Those rules are unchanged from the last time you approved this. I did include some information from the last time you approved it for the members of the board. I don't know if any of you have any questions. We had no applications in the last 5 years, but it doesn't cost us anything to offer this program because the town doesn't actually pay anything for this program. What it does is if somebody qualifies through OEDIT, which is the Office of Economic Development and Tourism, through the state, then we would rebate sales tax and property tax, potentially property tax. Sales tax is considered a pass-through. A business does not pay sales tax, they collect and remit sales tax, so it wouldn't hurt our businesses. But again, this is by no means required, but it is something that we have offered in the past and it's expiring 12/31. I wanted to give you all the opportunity to review and discuss.
Thank you. Is this a public hearing?
No.
Okay.
Standard resolution.
Okay. Daniel, any comments?
Not really, I mean, I think we should renew it, it's no impact to the town, and I know at least a little bit about it, so.
Okay. Brent?
Same.
Nick?
Yeah, same.
Same. Andres, you can talk on this one.
All right, I can talk. It sounds good. I don't see any reason not to. I'm curious why there haven't been any participants thus far, but I think the comments from Heather were helpful for understanding some of the context. So all good on my end.
Okay, all right. Then, yes, Heather.
David Payton says, Resolution 12, Series 2025 Jumpstart, I agree.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
All right. All right, then I would look for a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 12, Series 2025A, resolution participating in the Rural Jumpstart Program.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Will the clerk please call the vote?
Mayor Pro Tem Brendan Porter.
Hi.
Trustee Daniel Hennett.
Aye.
Trustee Andres Esparza.
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning.
All right, thank you all. And the next item is Cortez Dispatch IGA renewal.
I will take this one for Justin. He did receive the call out. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
So Historically, we have done this every year. This is this is an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Cortez so that they can and will dispatch for the town of Memphis. So when someone calls 911, they will dispatch a marshal within our town limits. The agreement is substantially unchanged from last year. There was significant discussion last year and the year before. The only material change in 2026 is that this agreement is now a 3-year agreement rather than a 1-year. I hate to say this, we have no other options. Several years ago, there was discussion, and so staff researched having our own dispatch center. We cannot, it is not feasible for a town our size to build, maintain, and staff a dispatch center. We have budgeted $51,000 for Cortez dispatch for next year, for 2026. That is the cheapest that we can obtain those services. It is absolutely your decision, but staff is in this instance asking that you approve this agreement because we have no other options. We researched last year and the year before. We researched Montrose, we researched La Plata County, we researched Farmington. We researched, and then we researched again, building our own, staffing our own. If we wanted to build one, it would be horribly expensive, don't get me wrong, but the town could afford it. You guys are very fiscally responsible, staff is amazing. We would never be able to staff it. 24/7, 365, no time off, 0 closures, not 5 minutes. It's just not feasible. And so we truly do not have a choice.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
All right. Any comments?
Well, at least with the 3-year deal, they can't change it for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So
They could, but we would have to come back to you for
silver lining, guys. Silver lining.
We try to take care of ourselves, but it's just we have to do that.
Yeah, I feel like we're stuck. I mean, we've talked about this at length, and I just feel like we're jammed into this. And so, we've looked at options. I don't feel like we have any.
Daniel?
Yeah, it is
Same.
what it is.
Okay.
Not a big deal.
Sucks.
Andres, any comments?
Nothing to add on this one.
Okay. Then I would, what?
It says Cortez IGA, I agree.
Okay.
Short and succinct.
I love engineers. Okay. All right. So I would entertain a motion in a second.
I make a motion to authorize Mayor Cindy Simpson to execute the 2026 intergovernmental agreement for dispatch services.
Second.
Andres, okay?
Hey, Andres, are you okay?
Yep,
Okay.
I'm right here.
Can,
What's up?
can you mute? Something was just making a lot of noise on your end. We thought you'd been in a wreck.
Oh, no, you're mute.
Okay. It's like, you just crash.
Second.
Second. All right, so we had a motion and we had a second.
Second.
Okay. Here's your second.
I'll take that one.
May we please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Brett McWhorter.
Aye.
Trustee Daniel Lennox.
Aye.
Trustee Andreas Esparza.
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning.
All right, motion passes. Next item is ordinance 790, series 2025, 0.4% sales tax increase and 4.4% use tax implementation to be restricted to streets and broadband April 7, 2026 municipal election ballot question.
So we have been talking about this for several years. The town has not requested an increase from our citizens for property tax or sales tax since the early 1990s. We started discussing this in 2023. In 2024, we conducted, with the help of Magellan, we conducted a community survey. Some highlights from that survey: 61% of respondents agree that the town of Vegas is fiscally responsible and spends taxpayer money wisely. 72% of respondents support creating paved roads, sidewalks, curbs, and gutters. 72% of respondents support a sales tax increase restricted to road maintenance, repair, and broadband. They support it if it is restricted to roads. The board, after discussion, decided on the sales and use tax because everyone uses the streets, not just our local property owners. So, in your packet, I included the ordinance that you would need to approve in order to get this on the ballot in April so the residents can vote. I also included as a, this was actually more for the public, you guys have seen this a ton. We do publish all of our packets online, so I included the Magellan survey results because I just hit the highlights in the staff report. And then I included some information about a neutral campaign. Once you pass this ordinance, we cannot, by law, spend taxpayer money to encourage our taxpayers to pass your ordinance. We can do it's called a neutral campaign. I will provide information. I will say that in 1994, the citizens approved a 4% sales tax. We are asking for a 0.4% sales, 4.4% use in April of 2026. That's not for, not against. So I provided some information for you all in your packet. If you approve this tonight, our election calendar will start for staff, and this will be on the ballot. So a neutral campaign will also be created to provide information to your citizens so that when they vote on April 7th, they have information to make an informed decision.
And we are also held to the not taking a position, right?
Yes,
Personally.
the board and the staff.
Right.
We must be neutral. So I know it's difficult in a small town, but when citizens come up to you and say, hey, what do you think?
You can't take the hat off, trustee.
I can provide you with information. And staff for Vegas Days has given you, and we reprint those, we'll put them around whatever we need. But we had given you a bullet point list with data. Data only, no opinions. So we'll be happy to provide that again, because it is hard when people are coming into the restaurant or stopping you at P&D. What do you guys think? It is super awkward to say, I can't take an opinion on that. They love it. But in this instance, it's against the law. We can't do that.
So citizens can.
Sorry.
We'll be all right.
Citizens can campaign for it, though.
Citizens can campaign for it. The Vegas School District Honor Society can campaign for it. Anybody who is
Just
not
saying. If you want paved roads.
This is how you get roads paved.
If we are taking money, collecting
This
checks,
is your moment.
receiving trustee compensation, no payment. That is also the reason that the town never allows political information in town hall. Just to be fair and safe. Because people don't always grasp the difference. With the ballot box out front, they do not always grasp the difference. But that's not always our election.
Right.
So we just try to keep it.
So if we approve this, once we approve it, no positions taken. So if you have something to say it now.
And even the information that I put in your packet, it's supposed to, even that, it's a basic. This is what we're doing. Not please vote, none of that.
All right, Andres, any comments, questions, concerns?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and read off what I was going to say here. I believe, as a board, we've been talking a lot about the proposed 0.4% increase. I'm a fan of it. I think it's going to go for good stuff. I think voters want it. The one kind of the subtext of the conversation that maybe hasn't got the same airtime has been the brand new 4.4% use tax fee. And I want to start by just saying I am in favor of that fee as well, or that tax. However, I believe they're distinctly different. And even though they're often bundled together, and I understand the whole process, increasing our sales tax by 0.4%, that's like fairly common. That's an easy ballot item. I'm in favor of that. However, the brand new 4.4% use tax fee feels distinct in my mind because we're not going from 4 to 4.4%. We're going from 0 to 4.4%. So it feels like a brand new tax. And bundling them together doesn't make the most sense for me. Again, I understand some people often will bundle them if they're both increasing together. But what I would hate to see at the end of the day is somebody say, oh man, I would vote for a 0.4% increase, but a brand new 4.4%, that's gonna kill the vote right there. And so again, just to be clear, my position is that I think they're both vital and important for our town. However, putting them on the same ballot, something feels off about that. It doesn't quite feel transparent because we're introducing a brand new tax in addition to an increase. So my preference and my vote would be to split them into two different ballot items, a 0.4% increase on our sales tax, and as a separate ballot, an introduction of a brand new use tax of 4.4%.
Okay, thank you. Heather?
I want a clarification, please. A separate ballot, so wait until 2028, or two separate questions on the same ballot? Those are.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, so clarification is they should both go on at the same time. As long as we can do that, which I believe we can, put them on at the same time.
But as two separate items?
As separate ballot items, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Nick?
Well, to that last point, I would almost say the opposite. I mean, if people are going to choose one or the other, in my mind, if you have two taxes, two different ballot items, they're going to say, well, I'll vote for one and not two. I think if we're going to split them like that, they should be actually separate ballots. I paid use tax today for a building permit for the city of Cortez, and theirs is down around 2.3%. And it just, this is a commercial kitchen for a nonprofit, $250,000 project, and the build permit was $9,000. And I'm just amazed at how much that adds. And because of the industry I'm in, it's just a lot of money for an industry that's already incredibly expensive. And I just worry about, like to Andres' point, to go from 0 to 4.4. I mean, is that really the right move versus potentially something lower than 4.4? And there's just some, it's going to put some pain on the ability for people to do projects here that need to pull building permits. And so I just want to point that out. It's expensive. It's really expensive to add, 4.4% to a project.
Okay.
So yeah, I have some concern about the bundling here as well.
Okay. Right.
I definitely agree with the 0.4%, and I can see where they're both coming from on the use tax, especially when you put them together. I don't know if we want to do the use tax right now. I think that what we talked to most citizens about was the 0.4 when we did our outreach.
Yes.
So I think right now the best mode here is to really make it apparent what we're talking about here. And, we haven't done a sales tax increase since the early 90s, and everyone else around us has changed every few years. So we're really lagging behind in that, and it limits our ability to do these infrastructure projects like paving and maintaining our roads. So I do think that I can see where they're coming from when it comes to putting two together. So I think that right now we should shelve the 4.4 use tax and just do the sales tax.
Thank you. Daniel?
Yeah, so I guess first, I apologize, I feel a little blindsided right now. We have a lot going on, and I'm just like catching up to this, that we're talking about a use tax in addition to this 0.4, that's huge. I mean, somebody goes and buys a new car, we're talking about thousands of dollars for a residence on a use tax. And yeah, I thought we were just talking about sales tax, and so I'm going, like, what did I miss?
I think we just haven't talked about it.
I thought we were only talking about sales tax. I don't remember when use tax came into it.
95% of the conversation has been the sales tax.
Yeah.
I think that's why
Yeah,
we're.
that's been the majority of the sales tax.
Yeah, because like you were saying, construction, cars, I mean, that's a lot of money.
Do we know, like, if we look at that use tax, do we have an actual, like, what that would equate to in terms of yearly money?
So today, I don't have a number, however, the attorney who helped us draw our ordinances. A use tax in the town, they don't anticipate what they said is a significant impact.
Mm-hmm.
Because potentially on motor vehicles, they did not clarify that. I don't know if you buy a car in Cortez and register it here if that use tax comes into play.
Yeah.
I think so, but I'm not sure. But that was not discussed. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I did a little research on it this weekend, because I was trying to wrap my head around it. And I think if you pay sales tax on the vehicle in another jurisdiction, then you're exempt from paying the use tax in.
We get a credit.
Can't double dip.
Yeah, I think it's like either a credit or some sort of, there's a mechanism in there where it offsets.
And I think I know, but our attorney is not here.
Mm-hmm.
And on this, I do not want to misspeak. So we
Yeah.
can do a couple of things. We can move forward tonight with the sales tax, if you all are comfortable with that, or move the use tax language, and this will come back to you in December with only sales tax language, 0.4% sales tax language. We can also ask the special attorney that drafts these election and bonding ordinances and stuff to clarify in plain speak.
Yeah.
All of the impacts of a use tax and send that in writing so I can put it in the packet for you all in December.
Mm-hmm.
It does not have to be passed tonight. We still have time. What I know is we have to do this no later than the first meeting in January.
Okay.
Because our election calendar starts, we have to start considering ballot printing and hiring colleagues and that kind of thing. So we have some time to bring back to you whatever you're looking for. If you absolutely are not interested in use tax at this point, then in December we'll bring back to you a 0.4% sales tax ordinance. Or we will bring back to you use tax information and you consider it in December, and then you would adopt whatever you wanted to adopt in January. And whatever it is that makes you comfortable, because again, you're going to be being approached by the citizens, so I want you guys to be comfortable.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward getting the information in plain speak. You know, how does that work? What's the mechanism for it? You know, is it just on my honor I promise to pay, or is there a way to track it down? You know, things like that. Like, what are the mechanics of it?
Sales tax and use tax. Sales and use tax usually go together, and this is in the minority for municipalities because we don't have a use tax. They generally go together. With regard to on my honor, everybody is on their honor here because the town does not collect sales tax. Our businesses remit the sales tax directly to the state, and the state gives us to us. If any auditing is done, if there's any question about if someone's paying appropriately or timely, the state steps in and does that. They don't even let us know. Very different from liquor or marijuana. They will come in, meet with the business, audit their books, and either give them a pat on the back or fine them or do whatever, and they don't even talk. The town is not involved in that. We get a deposit every month from the state, and that's what it is.
Okay.
So, that piece of it I can answer for you.
Yeah. I just, you know, I would be curious because I know we are one of the few places that doesn't have a use tax, and so I would be interested in knowing the mechanics of it and how it works, what triggers it. You know.
I mean, it's pointing to, so just looking online, it says, you know, the language in the recommendation is construction and building materials, which it says is collected during building permits, right? If someone applies for a building permit, there's a tax, the special use tax gets applied. It also says the place that the way this is written, any motor vehicle, it's when you register a vehicle, it's collected. So since we don't register vehicles in the town of Mancos, my guess is that part is irrelevant.
I think it's where you register it to, though. Like, so if we
Where you
register
register
it
it
for
to.
Mancos,
Yeah.
the state collects it and then remits it to
back.
Mancos.
So there's the answer of how the two are collected. So it's not, you know.
So I think, for me, right now, I think we should just do the sales tax and then get the information from the lawyer about the use tax to take to a future election.
Yeah.
That's my instincts too, is like the sales tax to me is what we've spoken about, it's what we've lobbied on behalf of. I think the sales tax is straightforward, the 0.4%. I'm in favor of this 0.4%.
We've been talking about it for the last 3 years now, and I really hate to muddy the water with something else added to it.
I think it needs to be clean in order
That
to
just is, it's just too confusing for people, and if it's too confusing for us that read this stuff all the time, it's gonna be too confusing on a ballot, and I think it's gonna really poison the opportunity that we have here right now.
Well, even the way it's written is very
well, and Magellan didn't ask that in their
the privilege
survey.
of using or consuming. I mean, right now people are dealing with tight budgets, with inflation, like this whole let's tax people for the privilege of using it. I mean, it just looks wrong. The optics are terrible.
And like I said, Magellan, when we did the survey a couple years ago, we didn't ask this part. That wasn't part of the equation.
Exactly, it doesn't show up on any data.
Okay.
So I think
Well, and the reason I was in favor of, generally trying to pay as little tax as possible, but, this is restricted to road and maintenance, so I'm with the 72% that say, well, we need these specific things, and so that's where my head was at, but the use tax is.
Yeah, okay,
So I don't need a motion, I don't need anything. What will happen is you will see this ordinance, number 790, in December. I will not be here, but I will call in.
with just the
That's
0.4.
For solely a 0.4% sales tax increase, restricted, capital letters and underline bold, for streets, broadband, and streets include sidewalk, curb, gutter.
Right.
Yes. And then I think we are pro use tax. We just need more data and we need to put it on a future.
And I will make a mental note, because there's another potential 2020 question, so we'll talk about that when it gets closer.
Okay.
But for today,
in
December, you will see an ordinance solely with language solely related to a 0.4% sales tax increase restricted.
Yes. And my request is we don't lose sight of the use tax, that it comes back. I don't want to lose sight of it just because.
It's something we'd like to make sure we still see stuff on use tax going forward so that we have the information.
I will add it to the list of things that we're going to talk about once we get through budget and year end and virtual meetings and some other things that we're already working on.
I think that'd be a great workshop this winter.
Yeah.
It is, and if we're going to put it on the 2028 ballot, we probably want to discuss it closer to that. So you want to talk about it in early 2027. Just if you talk about it too far in advance.
Well, we'll have we'll have different board members and
so you'll see that in December. So no action necessary on that item. If Andres' item.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Moving on. River improvement grant opportunity.
So this is more of an FYI generally I try to give you letters of support for your review and approval prior to grant applications when we're asked by other entities. However, I spoke with Danny Margolis of the Vegas Conservation District, and we do partner with them. And the turnaround time this meeting, the grant was due before this meeting. So I have included in your packet, just for your information, a letter of support that I offered to them, because the Vegas Conservation District is applying for a grant for several of their projects. One of those projects includes those river improvements at Cottonwood Park and behind the school district that we have been talking about for a couple of years, but haven't been able to find grant money for or afford. So the Conservation District is including including those projects in their grant. If the grant is approved, our cash match will be $15,000.
Okay.
The total project cost for us to do it ourselves was estimated at $300,000. So this will save us significant money. We will, and I did speak with Terry prior to submitting this grant request so that I'm not just telling our public works director, surprise, you have to put in 15 hours of staff time.
Yeah.
So $15,000 and 15 hours of staff time and equipment to prep for construction if the grant is approved is what our commitment is.
That's a bargain.
And we have $150,000 in the 2025 budget that was not spent. So I did not put this $15,000 in the Conservation Trust Fund budget for 2026. We will do a budget amendment if they're approved because it's going to be several months. It's a federal grant, so it's going to be several months before they hear you. Our beginning Conservation Trust Fund balance is $51,000, and it can only be spent on parks that we own or lease out in our care, custody, and control.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and made an executive decision to approve that our participation in the grant. The other positive, and this is even more so for me, is the $15,000 is the Megas Conservation District will be responsible for the RFP, for the construction, for the project management. We are basically going to write a check, give them 15 hours of work, and both of those sections of river are going to be approved.
Yeah.
So.
And it won't cost us $300,000.
Correct. And months and months and months, again, with project management and trying to find a contractor, and insurance and staffing.
Yeah.
Payroll.
Cool. I say it's a good move. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Normally, I try to put these to you before to request you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good move. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Next item is a municipal code discussion regarding roosters in town.
That's why everybody's here.
Yes. So Rebecca Walker, is this the item? Okay. Come on up and state your name and address for the record.
Thanks for hanging in there, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm Rebecca Walker. Is this one? Technically, I live at 670 West Menifee in the Overlook Apartments, but I did live at 543 Bower Avenue during the time that I worked night shift during COVID at the hospital. That's why I came dressed in my uniform. Card-carrying registered respiratory therapist.
Nice.
All right. I worked nights. I don't know if you know this about the Cortez Hospital, but there's only one respiratory therapist there at night. We have to cover everything. If I didn't get my sleep, I came out of retirement for the third time, I don't know, I've lost count, to work COVID because I knew they'd need help. If I hadn't been able to get my rest, I was 70 years old at the time, I would just be a mess because with that job, medical people, doctors, nurses, PAs, EMTs, anybody that works medical services on night shift have to sleep during the day. And you do blackout curtains, fans, earplugs, soft music, whatever you can do to get sleep. But in the summer, you have to have your windows open, at least part of the day. And that rooster that lives very close to that Willow and Bower really would interrupt sleep. Night shifters can sleep through anything except jackhammers, trains 10 feet from your window, TNT, dynamite for road construction, booms, and roosters. There's nothing you can do to block out that sound, and I don't know why. Maybe that's why it's that way, that sound. But on behalf of all the night shifters and day sleepers in Mancus, I really hope you guys can see fit to ban roosters from backyard chicken coops. chickens don't need the roosters to lay eggs. They'll keep right on laying without them.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else wish to speak on this issue that didn't sign up before?
So I'm Eric Pfeiffer. I live at 521 Bauer with my brother John. Two retired bachelors trying to get along. So we had gotten new neighbors about a year and a half ago. The prior neighbors had chickens, and these new neighbors moved in and they had chickens as well. My bedroom faces the yard next door to me, which is 511 Bauer. And a couple months ago, our newer neighbors acquired a rooster. And it's just started learning how to crow about 2 months ago. And of course, he crows when the sun comes up. Now, I worked for 40 some odd years in jobs that required me to get up at 5:30 in the morning, go to work. And I thought when I retired that I wouldn't have to get up at the crack of dawn anymore. Maybe I could sleep in until 7 or 8 o'clock. I thought it would be a luxury. So I have to sleep with my windows closed. And even so, I still hear that rooster most of the time when he crows. I would like to see some kind of an ordinance or adjustment to the ordinance prohibiting roosters in town limits. Okay. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on up and state your name and address for the record and let us know what you think. You got 3 minutes.
Hello, I'm Shannon Hazlip. I live at 543.5 Bauer. And I have emailed all of you, and I appreciate so much your time responding to me. I know that this is a labor of love. So I emailed you because, like Eric said, we have actually both approached this neighbor to ask for a resolution in rehoming, and obviously have gotten absolutely nothing. I spoke with Justin, and he said that it needed to be very clear in the ordinance that it was roosters, not just noisy animals, and that would make it so he could enforce it a little bit easier. So that's why we're here, because like my mom said, and all of us understand that like hens right now are very important for people that don't want to be spending a great deal of money at the grocery stores. But as I said in my email, I have done extensive research about roosters in flocks, and they are not necessary. So I'm not really sure why the neighbors have decided to just ignore requests from us to rehome the rooster, but it is problematic because quite a few of us on the block have not been able to sleep over the last couple of months since it learned to start crowing. And I have done my due diligence. I have like a white noise machine, I have a fan, I have a mask that covers my ears, and I can still hear this foul creature. So, and I know that this has been on the town like council like a couple of times. I think that because of the state of what's going on with eggs lately, maybe it's something that we really need to look at to make sure that everybody in this town can sleep without the cacophony that is created. I mean, this is one sole rooster that has interrupted at least 4 different people on our block. And like outside of county, you know, the town limits, like there's a lot more space between homes. And here we're right up against each other. So there's no buffer zone for that sound. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you very much. Anyone else? All right. Anything to add?
No, there was discussion of this item in 2015 and 2016. And that was prior to my time as the town administrator. Yeah, I worked for the town, but I was not the town administrator, so I wasn't paying close attention to the outside. But there was discussion at one point about prohibiting roosters. I do not have any other information. I remember discussion, I don't know why or where or what happened. All I could find were the ordinances that I put in your packet where ultimately roosters were not prohibited.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to be, I'm trying to give you historical context because generally, but in this instance, I wasn't paying attention. I know it was talked about, but I don't remember. And if there was work product, it would have been destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
They don't keep work product once an ordinance is approved, so I can't even go back and find any like official discussion unless it was included in the minutes. I did not go back to 2014, 15, and 2016 to read minutes from either the board or the planning commission meetings. I can if you would like me to, or they're online. You know what I mean? So that's, I want some direction from you all before I put a ton of time and effort into this during budget review.
I think I can give you a little bit of background, just paying attention to it during that time. I moved back here in 2014, and I paid attention to this prior to my time on the board, and I believe the reason it was omitted from that prior ordinance is the fact that we had board members that owned livestock in town and had roosters as well, so I think that's why. I think that this absolutely should be something we do. I don't live on Bower, I live on Grand, but I can hear a rooster on the other side of Bower by the post office. That's a good 4 houses away from where I live.
I live on West Street and I can hear it sometimes.
So
yeah.
I think that this is something we need to look at, and I would be open to changing the ordinance.
Yeah, same. I do. I'm sorry. We can go on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the need for any rooster in a protected backyard in town. I mean, those roosters are there to protect the hen. We got fences, we got other ways to protect them, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's no reason. I have nothing but bad experiences with roosters in high density urban environments. And I think, there's just no reason to have a rooster in a small town like ours where everybody lives this close together. I agree. I just think it's madness.
Yeah.
These things are so annoying.
Yeah. Andres?
I am so happy that I'm on a board with other people who dislike roosters as much as I do. I think we should continue discussing this and work on that for everybody's sanity. So thanks.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Andres. All right.
I'm almost afraid to ask because I hate adding ordinances and language. But what I would say is, do we want to consider other loud fowl or birds with feathers?
Well, yeah, because then they run out and get a peacock. Yeah. They're worse.
I hate to say that.
No, I hate to get rid of a rooster and then have a peacock show up.
Okay. So I don't need a motion or anything tonight, but I was looking for some direction.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's consensus because this will have to go, this will also have to go to P&Z because there's also some trailhead stuff. Now, I will review that because this is discussed in chapter 7 and in chapter 16, and chapter 16 is our land use code. So I'm going to need to do some research to see if they both need to be changed. Does chapter 16 only deal with the homes, enclosures, pens for those types of creatures that are allowed in chapter 7? I will need to do more research, and I will. If it has to go to P&Z, it's going to be a several-month process.
Yeah.
Time to research and time to draft.
Yeah.
And then it has to go to P&Z for a public hearing, and then it has to come to you all for a public hearing. So not a quick tomorrow or next month resolution, but the consensus is figure out a way to prohibit
loud,
noisy fowl in town.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will bring this back to you probably not December, sorry guys, but that's budget and year-end stuff. So I will bring pretty sure that this gets discussed, or the discussion starts in January of 2026, whether that's just solely important to you all for chapter 7, or whether it goes to P and Z first. Either way, I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
Just one more thing that I was thinking about was now we've opened, the peacock box.
That's why I always
The things I never thought I'd
I
go
know.
up here.
You know, dogs, we've had dogs for
Oh,
years.
God.
That's gonna be
I
such
mean,
a
do
loaded.
we wanna, look at a more robust noise ordinance that covers more than, if we're going from roosters to peacocks? I mean, but it's a similar issue, dogs are barking all night, so
Yeah.
day sleepers, but not night sleepers are disrupted by the dogs in certain areas, corner, the stoplight, one of them.
Because our noise ordinance was amended a couple of years ago based on decibels.
Yeah.
And there was a legal reason to include decibels. I will have to research whether we can, so if dogs are barking at a decibel level, we have to black and white.
Yeah.
We can prohibit roosters altogether and not worry about decibels. I'll have to figure out where that's going to be a fine line discussion. So what I will do then, noise, dogs, decibels. What I will do then is, before I involve legal for actual drafting and that kind of thing, I will do some research between now and January and see how far we can go legally as far as barking dogs and what can we do to tighten it up without stepping over a line. And
Just to add, making enforcement easier, because I think that's
Yeah.
the goal that we're trying to accomplish here, right?
yes,
Ultimately, it needs to be as cut and dried as we can.
yes. So let me do some. I will add
Not the
that
rooster,
to my,
the code.
Well, I'll add that to my research, and then
It's doing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
rather than just presenting you with say ordinance that prohibits roosters,
Yeah.
I will actually then bring it to you for discussion, because I think there's a bit more legal nuance with dogs and cats than there are, and it's very easy to prohibit something.
Yeah.
But
Manage something that everybody has.
managing dogs and cats is difficult.
Yeah.
It's a different
From a
animal.
legal standpoint.
It's a different
Sorry.
animal entirely.
Sorry.
Oh, you had to.
I've been up way too
How
long
did you
today.
beat me to
It's
that?
easier than I think, because my information is old, like the last time we talked about noise.
Yeah.
It was a couple years ago, who knows what's changed, but.
Yeah.
So in January, you will either see items for discussion, or you'll see ordinance. We'll see which one.
Yeah.
But
That works.
I will add dogs, noise, and decibels to that research and discussion.
Cool.
And I'll bring it for January 2026.
Cool.
And let's hope the winter takes your problem out.
David's comments were basically what the board stated. I would want to discuss if multiple persons have complaints that exist to serve the town, not individuals, nor to interfere with what may be a neighbor-to-neighbor issue. If the town interferes on behalf of an individual, we set a board precedent. So he wants to discuss it and consider, it sounds like, a total ban or, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just want to say before you all sneak out of here, thank you for approaching the neighbor, because many times we get people who just want to complain about their neighbors, but not actually try to just have a conversation. So I appreciate that. It's very neighborly. Yeah. Okay. So moving on. How about cows? La Mesa Mexican Restaurant retail liquor license renewal application. Mercedes.
Yeah, so I did a really bad typo in here, and I apologize. The renewal is set to expire January 11th, and it says El Rio, but it's supposed to say.
Oh,
so
yeah, it does.
My apologies.
Whoopsies.
But they haven't had any infractions or anything in the last 12 months, so.
I
thought that when I was reading this the first time, I was like, didn't we just do El Rios
I know,
like a
I
month
was
and a half,
like-
2 months ago? Okay.
I realized it Monday and I was like, oh.
Oh, biscuits.
Oh, darn it.
So,
Okay,
It's okay.
all right. So yeah, no complaints, nothing wrong. Okay. All right, well then I would entertain a motion in a second.
I make a motion to approve La Mesa Mexican Restaurant liquor license renewal and authorize the deputy clerk to submit the renewal application to the Department of Revenue.
Second.
Oh, we have a motion in multiple seconds. Will the clerk please call the vote?
it's Mayor Pro Tem Brett McWhorter.
Aye.
Trustee Daniel Heck.
Aye.
Trustee Andreas Esparza.
Aye.
Trustee Nick Manning.
All right, motion approved. Welcome. All right, so items for December 10, 2025 meeting. Again, the meeting starts at 6. Please be there. I will not be there, so Brent will be running the meeting. We need to make sure we have a quorum. Yeah, or he'll crack the whip. So really make an attempt to be here so that we can pass the budget. And then our consent agenda that day will include the November 12, 2025 minutes, November bills and claims, committee update reports, and then resolution to be determined, series 2025, and that'll be pertaining 2026 budget and mill levy adoption, and then miscellaneous 2026ess resolutions that we have to do in the RV
No. The 790, yeah.
Oh, the ballot question.
Ballot initiative.
Yeah.
I was reading something on my thing when I said. Apparently, I'm like the anchor man. Where whatever I read, I just say.
And I think we were maybe going to ponder the hub joint workshop request,
I think that's just an email.
or is that? Oh, okay. You just want us to email you our thoughts.
However, I just need some feedback, and they're asking for January, so you've got some time. Do you want me to put that on the December 12th agenda for discussion?
I'd just like to know more about what they want to talk about. Because if it's just a presentation, then we can do that during a regular meeting.
Yeah.
If they want to ask us for money, I'm a no right now. I'd like more information about what they want to do.
Yeah.
If
So
it's,
if she just wants to offer, you know how they updated this last time? If she just wants to offer.
that would be better
do you
during a
want me to
meeting.
Just put it on the agenda for 5 or 10 minutes, like other
Yep.
presentation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is this coming from?
Just
The
5
summer
minute.
hub.
Giving the floor from the,
But
Yeah.
I would rather doing it on an agenda where it's in the packet and everything and people can actually see it,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to it being a workshop where
Yeah.
there's no public participation in that anyway. So
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'll reach out to her and say, hey, is this similar to your past presentation? Because if it is, I'll go ahead and put her on in January.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
because
I
I'd
think
rather reserve the workshop time for something that we can really dive into
yeah,
than just to be presented to.
yeah,
Yeah, well, we have a couple of those that we've been discussing. We've been street closures, we've got now the noise roosters, dogs.
Mhm.
There's another one, I apologize. It's on this.
lions and tigers and bears. Okay. Yeah, and if it is just a presentation, try to keep it to 5. After about 4 or 5 minutes, people just tend to repeat themselves. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to see on the agenda? All right. All right. So that ends the public portion for a while. The next item is executive session personnel for discussion of a personnel matter under CRS section 24-6-4024F and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in open session. Any member of this body or any elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body, or of any elected official or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to particular employees for the purpose of town administrator evaluation. And can Andres vote on the motion to go into executive session?
You can if he wants to.
Okay, so Andres, you can vote on the motion to go into executive session, but then you need to hang up.
All right, I'll go ahead and do that. I vote to.
Oh, wait, we have to have a motion and a second
I
first.
see. I thought you were
Sorry.
asking my vote.
No, I'm sorry, I was just filling you in. So I would entertain a motion and a second.
Where's the,
You can just say so moved, I think, because I just read the whole
I
thing.
have to read it the right way.
Uh,
Over on the bottom. I make a motion to enter into executive session for discussion of a personnel matter under CRS section 24-6-402 parentheses 4 parentheses F, and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in open session, any member of this body or any elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body or any elected official, or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personnel to particular employees for the purpose of town administrator evaluation.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Andres?
I vote in favor, and I'll see you later.
Okay, bye. Will the clerk please call the vote for?
Mayor Pro Tem Britton.
Aye.
Trustee Daniel.
Aye.
Trustee McMahon.
All right.
Didn't mean to preempt you. Just wanted to get him in first.